trained employee installers are ready to bring your dream project to life. Get started by visiting westshorebath.com for winter savings from West Shore Home.
Hurt on the job? Leave it to Lewis & Keller.
You were injured at work. Now you're being told the insurance company has a plan for your workers' compensation benefits.
They say they'll pick good doctors.
They say you'll have enough to get by on while you can't work.
They say your job will be there when you're able to return.
You could take their word for it.
Or you could leave it to Lewis & Keller. Hurt on the job? Leave it to Lewis & Keller and get the no-fee guarantee. 765-7777.
Don't let your tax refund sit idle. Put it to work.
Trade in today and drive away for less at Jerry Hunt Supercenter.
More savings, more selection, more deals.
Shop JerryHuntSupercenter.com.
The king of pre-owned vehicles.
Lifetime warranties on new Jeeps. Get them at the all-new Greensboro Jeep.
Well, there we go. Taking a live look right now on Peters Creek Parkway and I-40 in Winston-Salem, where there's snow-covered roads, and you can see Peters Creek Parkway. You can see the bridge here, snow-covered roads. Winston-Salem public officials have been talking about they have had numerous accidents in and around Winston-Salem and are asking people to really stay off the roads at this time. We're really kind of starting to see the peak of this storm moving in now with the very heavy snowfall rates moving in. It's very cold outside. We've got temperatures into the mid and upper teens. A little bit closer in, you can see some heavier bands moving into Winston-Salem. We've got still some steady snow falling in parts of the foothills and the mountains right now, but it's in Winston-Salem. I'm going to take off the color coding here and show you the actual radar. Notice the darker greens. This is a band right over Winston-Salem with extremely heavy snowfall right now, and this is continuing to push off towards the north. Moderate snow from High Point towards Greensboro, and finally seeing some steadier snow now in Alamance County towards Caswell. We've also got a pocket of heavy snow moving in from Denton to Lexington towards El Dorado and Montgomery County right now. A little bit wider picture shows you exactly what's going on. Here's the dry slot that I was talking about yesterday. It has not been snowing in Raleigh, but that'll be changing later on this afternoon. We still have more snow off towards our southwest. This has been a very slow moving system, and that has allowed for heavy snow to fall across the area. So let's take a look outside in Winston-Salem with Christian Gladney on what's going on across the area.
Yeah, Jonathan, the snow has really started to pick up here in Winston-Salem. The wind is starting to make its presence known as well, as we're reaching about 2 inches of snowfall here. Here's a little look at the weather conditions in many areas across the Triad. As you can see here, a major pile of fluffy, fun snow, but if you move it aside, there are piles and stacks of ice in many areas from the last winter weather storm system. Officials are continuing to urge residents to stay inside, stay warm, stay off the roads, and avoid travel by all means necessary. Over the last hour, I've seen a lot more plow trucks making their way onto highways and what they consider main priority roads, major roadways, going and trying to clear the snow and former ice off of these roads. In addition to that, on these more residential back roads, there's been more of a presence of tow trucks that are bringing cars and vehicles that have been stuck and stranded due to these weather conditions. And in the last hour or so as well, there has been a noticeable decrease in the amount of actual cars on roads. But for the cars that are traveling in these conditions, noticeably significant reduction in speeds. But even with these reductions in speeds, they are still sliding, gliding, drifting, hitting the brakes, and just having a hard time maintaining control of their vehicles. And due to these weather conditions, NASCAR officials had just announced that the Cookout Clash at Bowman Gray Stadium has been rescheduled to Monday, February 2nd. We'll continue to provide updates throughout the day for this winter weather system. I'm Christian Gladney reporting live from Winston-Salem. Let's go back.
All right, thanks, Christian, for that. Just again, kind of recapping things across the area. We've got snow moving in, and we're going to be dealing with this snow for quite some time. So it's nice to see. It's nice to enjoy and get outside and play in the snow and go sledding with the kiddos. But one thing we've got to talk about, the serious side of the storm, is the road conditions, of course, right? So if you don't have to be out and about, try to stay indoors as much as possible. If you are going to be out playing in the snow, we've got to talk about the cold. Okay, it's going to be bitterly cold and dangerous cold as well. So try to dress as much as possible in layers. Notice here we're going to continue to see the snow lasting all the way through 8, 9, maybe even 10 o'clock. Probably not kind of seeing this winding down until later in the evening. And those snowfall totals are picking up. We've already had 2 to 3 inches of snow. So we're approaching the forecast, and I think we're going to be on the higher end of the forecast here, with potentially up to 6 inches or more, maybe around the 7, 8, 9 inch mark in certain areas. Lighter blue, 2 to 4. And again, it did have the high end, low end. Areas in the 2 to 4 could easily pick up 6 to 8. Areas in the 4 to 6 could easily pick up 7 to 10. Not widespread, but there will be pockets of those higher amounts, especially where we have those heavier bands. Winds are gusting into the 20s, a 32-mile-per-hour gust now in Greensboro. So we're going to see those winds gusting between 25 up to 40 miles per hour, and that's going to create blowing snow. So one, not only are the roads going to be bad with the snow and the slick roads, but visibilities are going to be reduced because this is dry, fluffy snow. So it's going to be easy to blow that snow up, creating reduced visibilities. And especially during the height of the storm, it's going to be really tough to see what's in front of you. And that's why we talk about just staying at home while the snow is falling. And then the cold side of the story here in this storm is the feel-like temperatures. We were down to 1 degree in Greensboro. Now we're at 4 degrees. This is what it feels like when you factor in the wind. It feels more like 5 in Moxville, feeling more like 4 in Asheboro. Lexington feeling more like 8 degrees. Reidsville feels more like 6 this late morning, early afternoon. We're now at noontime. So going throughout the rest of the afternoon, the feel-like temperatures will be into the single digits, and that's why we've got an extreme cold warning in effect for tonight. It is going to be dangerously cold, where the feel-like temperatures today are going to be into the single digits, but tomorrow morning we're going to be dropping between 0 to -5, and it won't be until late morning through the afternoon that we warm things back up into the teens and low 20s. So this afternoon, if you are planning on being out and about, going sledding or playing in the snow, either, one, dress in layers for sure, but also take frequent breaks. Make sure that you're giving yourself time to warm things back up, drink plenty of hot cocoa, and of course the roads are going to deteriorate throughout the rest of the afternoon. Not really worried about power outages because we're not dealing with any freezing rain this go around, but because the winds are going to be gusting, there may be some power outages in isolated areas. And of course, the extreme cold, especially for tomorrow morning, frostbite is going to be a concern. So make sure that you cover your entire skin that's exposed with warm clothing. Today and tomorrow is the cold. Today is the snow. And of course, we're going to be watching this very closely as we head throughout the afternoon. We'll have more updates throughout the afternoon. And of course, we've got a special 6 o'clock and 11 o'clock newscast tonight. So make sure to tune in to that. But until then, we're going to go back to regular programming.
At the office for Taylor Fritz.
It's a lot of fun to be in this era of American tennis.